more crushingly embarrassing clips from Meghan Markle's latest bombshell interview.
Who are your idols?
And a major setback for the Duchess's broadcasting ambitions. I've got the inside story. But first, the Mark Dolan Show was the first show in the world to place Harry and Meghan on 24/7 divorce watch. And this programme understands that tensions around Meghan's shock decision to put Archie and Lily in the spotlight is now placing extraordinary pressure on their marriage, with insiders close to the couple revealing that whilst publicly he goes along with it, privately Prince Harry is raging about Meghan's decision to publish photographs of Archie and Lily on social media. And it's led to, and I quote, fights between them. Now, we know what Meghan's done. She's stepped up her social media activities significantly. No one would have a problem with her posting selfies and pictures of her launching her failed business projects, all the rest of it. No problem. But she has placed Archie and Lily front and centre of her publicity blitz. We've had the inappropriate twerking video, which has made Lily famous before she was even born. We've had the Disneyland trip, which was embarrassing and very cheap of the couple, because clearly Disneyland paid for the trip. We've had the beekeeping. We've had Archie's birthday. We've had Father's Day. And Harry is powerless to stop this happening because Meghan, as we know, is a very controlling personality. And Harry is angry, but that anger, that rage is impotent. It's going nowhere. Just like King Lear at the end of that wonderful play when he's divided up the kingdom, given it to his 3 daughters who are ungrateful. So he heads off to the field and he starts yelling at the sky, which isn't going to do him much good. And I'm afraid that young Harry cuts a very Shakespearean figure now, certainly more tragic than comic. And the reason why he's in such a pickle is because Harry is powerless to stop Meghan using the kids for fame. The reason being that Meghan is a very controlling personality. Also, Harry's not at home. He's not in his home territory because he's British. He was born in the United Kingdom. Now he's in California. He's in Montecito. Montecito. He's got no friends. They're all back in the UK. He's isolated. He's not bringing in any money, so his self-esteem is through the floor. Centre Barley, his big, well-publicised project, is basically a smoking ruin of a charity. He's got no social media footprint. She owns the Instagram. He's got no way of communicating with the world. He's tired. He's sad. He's been piling on the pounds, partly because of his well-reported addiction to the Wendy burger. He loves the Wendy's. Harry's had too much therapy, far too much therapy. Get over yourself, Harry. But ultimately, the guy is powerless to change this. So it's our understanding that they've been rowing about this. But what Meghan wants, as we know, Meghan gets. Now, using the kids is not Harry's style. It's very unsurprising that the couple have come to blows over this. It's not Harry's style to put the kids on the internet because he's a royal. And no royal seeks publicity because they're born to it. When you're born to something, you don't seek it out. In fact, you normally try to avoid it. He hated being photographed. He's actually a very shy person and he was a shy kid. Hated being photographed as a child. Hated the harassment of his own mother, Diana, who sadly perished as a drunk Mohammed Al Fayed paid for security guard sped through a Paris tunnel in a Mercedes-Benz, allegedly escaping paparazzi photographers. Harry hates all this stuff, but he's powerless to do anything about it because Meghan's got the power. Also, he is a royal. The royals are discreet. They're not cheap. They're not shallow. They're not money grabbing. They wouldn't want to exploit their kids for fame and publicity in the way that Meghan is doing just that for Archie and Lily. And here's my proof of that. We've been shown so many photographs of Archie and Lily, even though the couple told us they're worried about young people and social media, very worried about their privacy, which is why they went on a world privacy tour to protect their privacy by doing a book, podcasts, a TV show, documentaries, and all the rest of it. But here's the thing, right? Archie and Lily have been splashed all over the internet in the last few weeks. What do we know about George, Charlotte, and Louis? Those are the offspring, the children of the Prince and Princess of Wales, William and Catherine. How much do we know about George, Charlotte and Louis? We know nothing. We know nothing. What do we know about George, Charlotte and Louis? We know nothing. And that's how it should be. All we know is that they're cute kids. They pose for official portraits. We don't have that nonsense of the love heart on the face, all that creepy stuff, or the photograph of the kids from behind, which all that does is create more curiosity, more hunger to find out about Archie and Lily. That's really bad for them. We have official portraits, and that is it. What do we know about George, Charlotte and Louis? They go to school. They've got wonky teeth. Louis is impatient at public ceremonies, just like his grandfather Philip. What's not to love? They're great kids, but we know nothing about them, and that's how it should remain. And I agree with the brilliant royal author Hugo Vickers, who's been speaking to the Sun newspaper this week. And he said something that the Mark Dolan show said 2 weeks ago. Because on this programme, I suggested that when those kids are older, they will be very bitter towards their parents because they've been made celebrities. They've been exploited for clicks and for money. They've been papped by their own mother because Meghan paps her kids. She paps her kids. She paps the kids. Meghan paps the kids. Papa don't preach. I'm in trouble deep. Papa don't preach. I won't lose and sleep. Oh, I made up my mind. I'm keeping my baby. So I'm keeping the baby, love. It wasn't a one-night stand for me. Can you feel the love tonight? Right, so stop it. Listen, folks, see, you mustn't interrupt me. I love the interaction. But if you stop me in my tracks, we're going to lose time. I've got some great clips. The clips of Meghan and Harry. Sorry, not Meghan. Meghan on this TV show. You are going to love it. The other thing, by the way, big news. Reg, my neighbour's cat, is back. He features at the end. Plus, by the way, your comments today. Your comments. Look. So we, on the Mark Dolan show, ahead of the curve by 2 weeks, we said that Archie and Lily will detest their parents and will rage against them when they're 18, when they see how they've been exploited. And in the previous video, I said that when you're a child, you can't consent to having your photograph placed on the internet. You can't consent to being made famous. You can't consent to having your face used for clicks and to gain your mother, your cynical, ambitious mother, another couple of million Instagram followers. So we're ahead of the curve. So that's it. On the Mark Dolan show, you got to stay tuned because you have the wave and then we're ahead of that wave. And the others are washed up on the sand. So Hugo Vickers, speaking in the Sun, he said, I just think there's going to be a terrible revenge when those two children grow up. He said, I mean, I don't know about you, but I would be very annoyed if I found that I'd been used in all these posts in a strange way by my parents. Vickers, who is an outstanding biographer and journalist, he said, the children are being presented in a strange way for brand and publicity purposes. He suggests that this could lead to resentment or anger in adulthood as the children realise how they were used. He is, of course, absolutely right. They will be so angry. And by the way, it gets worse than that because it's been decided that Lily's going to be an entrepreneur with her mother. That's what Lily wants to do. What happens if Lily wants a regular job? Maybe Lily will grow up to be a coal miner. It's perfectly possible she may wish to dig anthracite from beneath the ground, which is a noble profession. And there's not enough women digging coal out of the ground, which is because of structural inequality. The ladies don't get to go in the lift and get to dig out the anthracite, which they dream of doing, so many do. So let the girls down there and let Lily be the pioneer. And she can come up 12 hours underground, all the dusty face, you know what I mean? All coal everywhere, filthy hands, with a little lunchbox and a sad face. Let Lily do that if she wants to be, she could be a forklift truck driver. She could be a school teacher. She could be on the broiler at Wendy's because, her father loved her. Can you imagine how proud Harry would be if Lily pitched up at the Wendy's and was flipping burgers, those excellent Big Dave patties. She's flipping. And imagine she's crisping up the bacon for the Baconator. Harry would be so proud. Oh, my wonderful daughter, I'm so proud that you're working at Wendy's, the Wendy Burger. I love the Wendy Burger. So she can do whatever the hell she likes. But no, according to Meghan, she's going to be an entrepreneur like me. Well, I hope she's not going to be an entrepreneur like her, because Meghan is a failed entrepreneur whose business is DOA. DOA, dead on arrival. By the way, controversy from the previous video. Who sung DIVORCE? I shall reveal all at the end. Plus your comments. Your comments, that's right. Okay, look, so let's get to this because the video clips are coming. Meghan's interview, it's hilarious. Vickers says that the children are being presented in a strange way. He is so right. It's weird how they've done it. Because like we're showing you the kids, but we're not. With the weird heart in front of the faces, which I find that's almost like what a serial killer would do. You know, when serial killers write to the police or the victims and they cut out letters from newspapers and magazines and write letters like, that's how it feels like. Meghan's like that. She's got some serial killer qualities to her. She reminds me of Kathy Bates from the film Misery. Have you seen the film Misery? I'm your number one fan. Brilliant movie. Highly recommend you see it or read the book by Stephen King. So Vickers has said the Archie and Lily will wake up to realise that they could have been the cousin to Prince George, a future king, and they could have been over here having a nice time in the United Kingdom with the other children, their cousins. They aren't going to know them. Vickers predicts that the children will feel the loss of connection to their royal cousins, including George, Charlotte and Louis. What do we know about George, Charlotte, Louis? What do we know about George, Charlotte, Louis? We know nothing. Niente. Nichts. Gar nichts gibt's. Von uns gibt's gar nichts von uns. Wissen wir. Können wir wissen nichts. Wir wissen, können, kennen nichts. Nous avons oublié tout. So, seriously, we know nothing. Also, Vickers said they may also mourn the childhood they could have had, filled with royal traditions, family gatherings, and public affection in the UK. You're so right. Well done, Hugo Vickers. What a rock star he is. Just imagine we've had the Trooping the Colour ceremony, which is the King's birthday. And Archie and Lily could have been on that balcony. And they could have met the crowds and seen how incredible the whole family are, the institution which they are a part of unwittingly. But there's no photo op. They're not part of history. Because that's a public record, isn't it? That balcony photograph is a historical document and they're not in it. They've been erased from history by their selfish, stupid parents. Horrified by that. Vickers is right. So, folks, the tensions grow. The couple don't agree about how to raise their kids. I would have thought that a dispute over social media photographs, and I would imagine that's the tip of the iceberg. Because I would have thought there were differences about where the kids should live, where they should go to school, what their values should be. I don't think there's any common ground between Harry and Meghan. I've got no doubt that Harry would love to instill in the kids some of those royal values, which were passed down from generation to generation, most notably from Queen Elizabeth, who took the view that children should be taught to be polite. She said that being polite was the number one thing, and she's so right about that. She is so right about that. Anyway, tensions grow. They don't agree about how to raise the kids. Don't forget, when they divorce, they'll be Meghan's kids. Be very clear about that. They'll be Meghan's kids because Meghan is going to use American lawyers, California-based lawyers, who will call Harry and they'll go, hey, Harry, my name is Robert Weinstein, and I'm Meghan Markle's lawyer, and we're going to take you down. And we're going to take you down to Chinatown is where we're going to take you. To Chinatown is where you're going to be taken. To Chinatown down there. In Chinatown, take you down to Chinatown is where you're going, to Chinatown. And those kids, we're taking them too. And the house. And the royal titles. We're taking it all, Harry! I kid you not. Don't cross Robert Weinstein. Weinstein, he'll take you down. He'll take you down to Chinatown. Meanwhile, Harry will have some anemic English lawyer going, excuse me, it's very unkind. We'd like to keep the house if possible. And the prince would like to see his children at least twice a year. I mean, it's just going to be like lambs to the slaughter, isn't it? When they divorce, Meghan gets everything. She gets the kids. She gets the house. She's got the social media footprint. She's got the fame. And of course, let's not forget the other big thing is that she'll try to keep those titles as well. I'm going to do a deep dive on what will happen to Meghan when they divorce in terms of her titles, because I've got a shocking thing to tell you. I was reading last night, preparing for today's show, and in the dead of night, by candlelight, preparing, thinking about tomorrow's show already. And it's my understanding that if they divorce, you don't want to know this. This is going to, if you're in Australia at the moment, right, so many Australians and people in New Zealand have their breakfast for the Mark Dolan show. So good morning. G'day. What a beautiful part of the world the Antipodes is. Australia and New Zealand, thank you for watching. And here's the thing. You're going to spit out your cornflakes. Or maybe it's like an early barbecue, because that's a very Australian tradition. A couple of shrimps on the barbie for brekkie. And but this is going to make you nauseous over your lovely eggs, which is this. If they divorce, Meghan remains Duchess of Sussex. I kid you not. If they divorce, Meghan remains Duchess of Sussex. So that needs to be dealt with and addressed. And it's a horrible nightmare for all of us, because the idea that she would cling on to those royal titles, which of course she would, that would be her meal ticket. That's why they've got to be stripped of Duke and Duchess. But we'll get to that on a future show, because I'm going to do a deep dive on what their relationship is going to look like post-divorce and how exactly it will play out constitutionally, reputationally, titles, etc. But let's get on now. So much to come. Reg, my neighbour's cat, and your comments. But first, Emma Grede is a fabulous entrepreneur. She's a British businesswoman that started a fashion company, a fashion brand, clothing brand with Kim Kardashian, who's also got her head screwed on, hasn't she? She's nobody's fool. And so she's an accomplished entrepreneur, brilliant broadcaster with a very, very entertaining podcast called Aspire. It's called Aspire with Emma Grede. I highly recommend it, right? It's a good show. But what I liked about Emma Grede is that she doesn't take any nonsense from Meghan. On paper, she's very friendly to her, but she digs deep and she exposes Meghan to a lot of inconsistencies and, in my view, a lot of ridicule. So first of all, the first question she asked was about whether Meghan has any ethics when it comes to her business projects. Take a listen.
Would you ever do something just for the money if you thought this is going to kill, this is going to be an amazing business?
I have turned down a lot of opportunities that do not feel value aligned.
Mm-hmm.
What would those business opportunities be? Because it strikes me that Meghan is extraordinarily money grabbing and she'll take any deal as long as it boosts her bank account. I mean, this is a woman that actually libeled the royal family on the Oprah interview as part of her plan of global domination. She's like, I'll call the royal family RACIST, and that will make me more famous and give me more financial leverage. So the idea that she's got any ethics at all is utterly incomprehensible.
No, it's very easy to say no matter the price, if you aren't going to be able to sleep well at night.
What is she saying? Who's she kidding if you aren't able to sleep well at night? Was she able to sleep well at night when she ghost wrote Spare, a vicious, cruel and abusive book about the royal family, which all but destroyed Harry's relationship with his brother and his father? Right? She's the one that wrote those manuscripts. Spare is by Meghan Markle, okay? Because Harry didn't write Spare because he doesn't do sentences. And he's as thick as two short planks. He's a couple of pints of lager short of a brewery, that boy. He's a thicko. He's a nice guy, but he's dim but nice, is what I'd say. How dare she talk about whether you're able to sleep well at night? Can she sleep well at night, knowing that her father, Thomas Markle, has been banished from the United States? The poor guy now lives. Do you know about his living arrangements? Thomas Markle is in the Philippines. He's in the Philippines. He's in the Philippines. He's a resident of the Philippines. And he can't be happy because, wait for it, the guy lives in a high-rise, right? So that's a tall building with an elevator that probably sometimes works and sometimes doesn't. You know what it's like if you're living in cheap accommodation. cheap high-rise accommodation. That lift, that'll go down from time to time, won't it? The lift will be, as the French say, en panne, and as the Germans say, kaputt. Es funktioniert nicht mehr, mein Freund. Du musst die Treppe gehen. Du musst die Treppe gehen. Auf die Treppe, jetzt! Okay, calm down, everyone. It's quite hot in the UK at the moment. So, but the bottom line is that, yeah, I mean, this guy lives in a high-rise. Sometimes the lift's going to be broken. He comes back with his shopping. And, you know, he's in the Philippines there. He probably buys rice and chicken from the market, a few bits and pieces, maybe a local beer. He's a big man. He's a man of appetites, big Thomas Markle. And he sees that the lift is broken. Oh, man, I'm Thomas Markle, and the lift is broken. And whatever happened to Meghan? And then he's just got to go all the way up the stairs of this high-rise, sweating and huffing and puffing. And he gets to the, whatever it is, the 28th floor of this cheap high-rise. And he's hot. I doubt there's air conditioning in there, so he's sweating his knackers off. And then he's like, I'll go and have a little lie down. Right? This is Thomas Markle's life now. Did you know that his apartment in the Philippines overlooks a 7-lane highway? Would you want that for your old man? A cheap high-rise with a broken lift, no aircon, overlooking a 7-lane highway where environmentally unfriendly Philippine cars are flying past at 100 miles an hour. That is Thomas Markle's life. So don't talk to me, Meghan, about can you sleep well at night? How can she, honestly, guys, it's a genuine question. How can she live with herself? How can she sleep at night knowing that she's torn her husband away from his family? And how can she sleep at night knowing that her poor dad, who's 80 now and not in the best of health, is living a miserable existence? I mean, no, don't get me wrong. I've got viewers in the Philippines. And actually, I've got one viewer who said the pronunciation is correct. Philippines. It is Philippines is how you say it. And, you know, it's lovely people, all the rest of it. But, you know, a third of people live under the poverty line. It can't be safe for a Westerner like him. And it can't be a happy experience because he hasn't seen his daughter in years. So anyway, she reckons that, you know, she can sleep at night because she's so moral and she's so ethical. And she's such a fabulous person. Okay, let's hear what more we've got.
Totally.
Don't sacrifice
Totally.
that. No
But
way.
hopefully you can find, you know, some investments that let you sleep well at night and make loads of money. That's what I'm always looking for.
Is that a page in your playbook?
100%. Okay, so we can talk about that. I've got those and I've got those.
Yeah, no, at the moment, it's all in this one lane.
Now, that is very telling. What I love about this interview is not only is it cringeworthy and hilarious for all the wrong reasons, it's revealing. Because actually, Meghan is hiding in plain sight. You can fool some of the people some of the time, but you can't fool all of the people all of the time, which is a direct quote from Phil Collins. And, or was it Vincent van Gogh? But I don't know. I'm Ryan Gosling. Anyhow, please, if you guys interrupt me, we're going to have to wait. You see, you're slowing things down. You're going to have to wait for Reg the Cat. You have to wait for your comments, wait for more clips. So let's just have a look at this, right? So she said, I've got these, she said, all in this one lane. Did you see her body language there? So she's talking about her projects and the brilliant Emma, who's a very smart entrepreneur who believes in diversifying and very successful in with a range of jeans, collaborated with Kim Kardashian for people with big bums, who are, I think we'll agree, they are the aristocracy of the human race, are the big bummed folk. I mean, it's an aspiration now, isn't it? When I was a kid, ladies wanted tiny bums. Now it's got to be gigantic. Who knew? It's a funny old world, isn't it? But that's, you know, good luck to them. So there is a Queen song called Fat Bottomed Girls, which would be so un-PC now, wouldn't it? Fat Bottomed Girls. That's a song. I'm not making it up. By the way, just before we go, I will reveal who sang Divorce. A controversial answer. Watch this space. So she reveals in this interview, right? Emma's like, oh, you know, you think of different ideas for your businesses. And Meghan is not having any of it. Meghan is like, no. It's all in this one lane. Did you see the way she did that? She pushed her hands forward and she said, it's all in this one lane. And that body language is very clear, very forceful, because it's Meghan's way or the highway. It is Meghan's way or the highway. And that's the same with the marriage, which is why Harry is so miserable and so powerless to stop her using the kids for clicks. But that is the line that stands out from that moment. That clip is, at the moment, it's all in this one lane. And that is how she works. She's headstrong. She's a bully. She's narrow. She's not collaborative, which is why she gets through staff members quicker than James Corden gets through Krispy Kreme donuts, for goodness sakes. So that is the truth about it. And it's very revealing that she reveals her narrowness just in that remark. Next up, we have an awkward moment. There's always an awkward moment. Enjoy.
Do you know Melody Hobson?
Oh,
The Dream.
first of all, I love Melody so much. She was my second guest on the podcast.
Oh my gosh, I didn't realize that.
Right. Meghan absolutely raging. Oh my God, I didn't realize that. She closes her eyes in humiliated rage. Because what's happened is, this is embarrassing because what it means is that Meghan has no interest in this podcast that she's on. And she's not aware that this lady, this heroic lady called Melody Hobson, that was on the show. Now, if you appeared on a podcast, would you not have a quick look through the previous guests and see, find out about the podcast, find out who was on, and you were like, well, that's a great guest list. I'm interested by those people. Instead, Meghan hasn't done that. She's not done her due diligence and is revealed as knowing nothing about the show she's on, which is insulting to lovely Emma Grede. It's rude, isn't it? It's obnoxious. And you can just see that Meghan's been found out, and that's why she closes her eyes. And she's like, did you know she was on my second podcast? And Meghan's like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize that. She closes her eyes, and it's the shame, embarrassment, and humiliation that makes her close her eyes. She can't hide. You can run, Meghan, but you can't hide. Then we got onto kids and money.
Do you have, your kids are really little, mine are a bit older. Do you have conversations with your kids about money? Like, how are you even beginning to think about that type of thing?
Well, we sometimes do a little farmer's market stand.
Brilliant, isn't it? That'll really turn them into extraordinary entrepreneurs selling Meghan's perfectly in season, all on the same day, fruit and vegetables, which even though they've come out of the soil are suspiciously clean. So what is the business model there? You basically take your kids to Whole Foods, buy a bunch of berries and grapes and celery, take it to the market and sell it as your own. That's basically, that's counterfeit goods really, isn't it? That's the Meghan way, as corrupt as anything. Let me tell you, she makes the disgraced New York financier Bernard Madoff look like an upstanding citizen. Seriously, she is as dodgy as they come. Okay, now let's get on to her flop podcast with a stolen name.
Switching gear, I want to talk about your podcast, Confessions of a Female Founder.
It's fun.
It's so fun. It is really, really fun.
Do you see what happens when anyone interviews Meghan? They've got to endlessly praise her. They've got to support her crazy narcissistic ego. You're amazing, Meghan. You're amazing. Your podcast is so fun. So fun. So fun. So fun. Stop telling me you're having fun. If you've got to keep telling me that you're having fun, you're not having fun. Because that's not how fun works. Fun doesn't work like that. You don't tell people you're having fun, do you? You don't go to a party where there's drinks, gin and tonic, a couple of beers, maybe a great American beer like Budweiser, which is the king of beers. And you don't go around going, we're having fun, aren't we? Is this fun? It's fun, isn't it? You would literally jump out of the nearest window. You'd have to. You'd have to escape this mortal coil just in case someone else came up to you and said, this is fun, isn't it? Not great. But that is the Meghan... What can I say? Is it a Meghan? There's a word I'm looking for, and we'll get this word out. It's the Meghan factor. It is the Meghan factor. It is the Meghan effect that she gets people to support and prop up her ego. So she's in a bubble where everyone thinks, she's amazing. You're so amazing. You're such an amazing person with your company that you started 3 months ago, which has had no product since. You're amazing with your podcast, which has been cancelled, and your terrible TV show that demonstrated that you can't cook. You're not a TV host, and you're more or less a pretty unpalatable human being. You're amazing, but unpalatable, and obviously a terrible human being. So there you go. It's fun. Are you having fun? The next clip is also revealing.
But the whole idea of that podcast is that you are spotlighting female entrepreneurs, right?
Yes.
And I just want to ask you, I mean, why that show and why right now?
She doesn't know. There was a deafening silence there because Meghan doesn't know why she did the podcast because there's no plan. She's not a great intellect. There's no strategy. She gets through staff, like I said. They've had 18 employees have left them since they served as frontline royals. She doesn't know why she started the podcast because there's no answer to that because there isn't a plan. It's not real. Nothing's real. It's built on a house of cards. The madness goes on.
It was perfect synergy. Think about the timing of that.
No, I was like, she's going to school. This is what's happening.
Think
How
about
smart.
the timing of that. I was so fortunate to find Lemonada. I loved that it was a female-founded company that was doing podcasts and the women running it, incredible. They actually just had an acquisition.
Amazing.
Proud of them.
Now, that's also interesting because, first of all, so she conjures up an answer in the end, eventually. And that's fine. She's not great at thinking on her feet. But she starts banging on about the female founders and she talks a lot about female entrepreneurs. No problem. I totally get it. I understand. There is still absolutely a male domination of the workplace, all of that stuff. I totally get it. And let me tell you, the Mark Dolan show, right? Did you know that there are more women watching this show than men, right? Which I'm deeply honored and flattered by. I love the guys. I love the boys. Hello, boys. But I mean, to have a massive audience, a majority audience of women, I'm flattered by because women are, what can I say? I mean, just women are wise. Women are intuitive, right? You can't lie. I can't lie to my mother. I can't lie to my sister. I cannot lie to Mrs. Dolan, right? Women are authentic and real and smart, and they have, they bring life into the world. Now, let's not get started on how extraordinary women are. So I've got no problem with her supporting female entrepreneurs of whom there aren't enough. I get it. But there's so much about female this and women that, which is fine. And I support that. But is there another message under this? Let me know in the comments. Does Meghan have a problem with men? Let me know in the comments. Does Meghan have a problem with men? Does Meghan have a problem with men? And I say that because look at her treatment of her father. Der Fahrstuhl ist kaputt. Entschuldigung. I mean, so what has this guy done to be cancelled by his own daughter and to never meet his grandchildren? What's he done? What is his great crime? His great crime is he took a couple of dollars because he's permanently broke because he spent $500,000 on her education. So the guy's got no money, which that's why he's in the Philippines now because it's cheap. What was his crime? He posed for a photograph and was, I think, going to get paid a couple of dollars at an internet cafe. So his punishment was to be banished from the Meghan kingdom for eternity. Why is she so horrible to her dad? He called her my princess originally. He's the one that created this idea of her being a star, of her being a princess. He created that narrative. He was completely present for her childhood. He did all the heavy lifting. He raised that kid. Doria was out and about, according to Tom Bauer, smoking the wacky backy, the jazz cigarettes. And Tom Bauer writes in the book, seeing other men. I beg your pardon. I don't know. But the bottom line is that he was an incredible father. He did everything for her. She would not be where she is today. She would not be Meghan Markle, the actress, the celebrity, and now the Duchess, without big Thomas Markle. And he's banished. Why has she treated him so badly? Does she have a problem with men? Look how she treats Harry. Do you remember when they were in New York for the Time 100 most influential people that Meghan thinks she's one of them? And he stood behind her. He reached for her hand. She ignored him, which is humiliating for the son of the king of the United Kingdom. He shouldn't be standing behind anyone. He should either be ahead of her, given his status, or at least alongside her. But he's trailing behind. The bag carrier is what he is. And he's just been made to look a complete fool. Is that on purpose? Is she punishing Harry for some unspoken crime of being a man? And what about Archie? A couple of you, I love your comments, because a couple of you have said that she doesn't talk about Archie much. It's all Lily, Lily, Lily. And what about Archie? Is he going to be the next whipping boy for Meghan Markle? Right? We've had Harry, we've had Thomas. Is he the next whipping boy? I won't be a whipping boy. I hope not. And because, like she's going to start a business with Lily, isn't she? She said that. Why isn't she going to start a business with Archie? Why is there no great plan for Archie and her to collaborate? Does she have a problem with men? Let me know in the comments. I think maybe Archie, maybe he takes after his father and doesn't have a business brain. You never know. Because Harry is not entrepreneurial. Right, now let's just talk about this, right? Because next up, basically, the Confessions of a Female Founder, her podcast was a flop, and there's no more, right? It's over. The podcast is over. Season 1. By the way, that's a flop podcast. Successful podcasts don't have seasons. The Joe Rogan Experience, there's no seasons. It's a hit podcast. It's the number 1 podcast in the world. It goes out 3 or 4 times a week forever. That's what success looks like. A season of 6 or 8, right? That's not honest. It's a flop. Anyway, there's no season 2. And she tries to explain why. She tries to justify what is ultimately a crushing failure.
I just wrapped edits on season 2 of With Love, Meghan last week. So it's still ongoing while also doing a podcast, while also building my business. And at a certain point, the only thing I want spread thin is my jam.
Oh, so funny. Clever pun. She's wriggling on the line here, but she goes on.
So does it mean it won't come back? No, but I would love to bring the show back when I am at a different end.
The show will not come back. It is over. It goes on.
I think a different time will be so exciting to be able to compare and contrast. But yeah, I know people want another one. I just made a choice to say it's a really good time to put all of my energy into the thing that I'm building.
Sorry, is there anyone saying we want another series of Confessions of a Female Founder? Is there anyone on the planet that wants more of that tedious drivel? An interview show that was all about the host and not about the guest. And now we go back to the fact that Meghan is an amazing person. It's official.
Most of the women that I spoke to are working moms. And this is
That's a big deal.
Yes. And this is such a key age. I don't want to miss a moment for my children. And I love that I can do drop off and pick up at school and do meetings in between and go to Disneyland for 2 days, as we just did. And, volunteer to serve hot lunch at school or be the chaperone for the kindergarten field
you're
trip.
So good. You're making me look so bad.
No, stop that.
I never volunteer.
Well, you can start.
No, I cannot. I don't want to.
You see, that's the difference between the host and the guest, because Emma is real. She's like, no, I'm not going to help out at the school fundraiser. I'm a busy entrepreneur and I've got better things to do. And I don't express my love for my kids by making weird sandwiches with flour sprinkles. But that's the difference between them. One's real and authentic. The other is a complete fake, of which more evidence right now.
There's lots of other things that for me are just non-negotiables, right? It's like I like to put my kids' outfits together. I'm crazy about their packed lunches. Now, I don't pack them, but it's like I know what's in every lunch every day because that's just the type of person I am.
I
so
love
you have
packing
to
the
choose.
lunchbox.
You do?
Yes, that's like
stop it, Meghan. No, you don't. Do you
Yes,
do
I
it?
do.
Lisa, do you like make shapes and like make it look all beautiful? Is it a sprinkle situation? Are we putting
sometimes?
Oh my.
You see, all of that is meant to shame lovely Emma, because Emma said, look, I'm aware of what the kids are eating, but I'm a busy person. Someone else does it, which is wonderfully honest. Meghan would never admit to that. Meghan would never say, I don't make any of this stuff, even if someone else was making it. Emma is real. Meghan is not. The contrast between these two women is absolutely huge. And then we get to the flour sprinkles. So she puts flour sprinkles in the kids' food, which is deeply irresponsible. Because it's my professional verdict that those flour sprinkles are toxic, hallucinogenic, and people aren't supposed to eat flowers. Okay, that's my red line. That's my view. Okay, so then Meghan gets to her lifestyle in the evening. And by the way, maintaining the idea that she's this perfect domestic goddess.
But I love it. At the end of a long day, the kids are down to bed at like 7-ish. I can go downstairs, have a glass of wine. I'm doing their little lunch, but I find joy in it for whatever reason.
And it can be therapeutic.
Yes. So that for me is one of my simple pleasures. So I'm like, oh my gosh, that works for me. What works for you works for you.
Yeah, so what she's saying there, she's shaming Emma again. She's like, doing great things for the kids just makes me feel good because I'm such an amazing person. Helping out at school and doing the school run and making their sandwiches myself and putting hallucinogenic, toxic flour sprinkles in the food, even though people aren't supposed to eat flowers. All of that makes me feel good because it just makes me feel good to do great things for other people. It makes me feel good to be this great mother, right? That is all messaging. And that is there to make Emma feel completely inadequate. What is Emma? Emma is, like I said, she's got a multi-million-dollar enterprise here. She's selling fashion items around the world. She's a player. Emma is a big player. She's a huge deal. And I've got no doubt she's an extraordinary mother, but she's real. And she knows that she's busy and therefore she gets people to help her out with things like lunch. And she's not going to waste time at the school doing fundraisers. Good for her. But what's also interesting is Meghan talks about she puts the kids to bed at 7 o'clock. Basically, she can't wait to get rid of them. I don't know. How much does she like those kids? Because I think she wants to get rid of them. I hate putting I got 2 sons, right? Love them to bed. I hate putting them to bed because I want them to be around because I enjoy their company so much. She wants to put those kids to bed. And very revealingly, she said, I open a bottle of wine. I have a glass of wine. Because Meghan's a drinker. She puts it away, folks. She puts it away. Meghan likes to drink. We saw that on the Netflix TV show. So the real messaging there is actually get the kids to bed as quickly as possible so I can tear in to that bottle of Oxford Landing and I can guzzle some Jacob's Creek and I can neck a couple of Pinot Grigios before sundown. That's her focus. Meanwhile, Harry's gorging on the Wendy burger. Thank you, my love, for my Wendy burger. And the Baconator is so enjoyable. Then we get the obligatory reference to Harry. Do you know how she refers to Harry? Can you remember what she calls him? How does she refer to Harry? Take it away.
My husband and I, my husband and I, my husband and I, my husband and I, my husband and I.
Then we get on to who are her idols? Who does she admire?
Who are your idols?
Right. There's no answer because she only idolizes herself. And next, look for this flash of rage in her eyes.
I'm obsessed with Oprah, so if you could tell her for me, please.
Oh, I'll tell her.
Yeah, thank you.
Do you know her?
Do you see the anger in her eyes there? Do you know her? Do you know her? Are you stepping into my territory? Because I own Oprah Winfrey, even though she hasn't spoken to me for about 3 years. That is an amazing, revealing moment. Absolutely furious that this woman, Emma, should encroach on her territory of going anywhere near the precious Oprah. It goes on.
I think there's probably too many to count.
She can't answer the question. She doesn't know who her heroes are because she has none. Then we get onto the future.
Looking ahead, what audacious goal do you have that you are like looking forward to and is like on your mind right now?
Oh, goodness.
There's a theme emerging here, isn't there? She doesn't know. There is no answer. There is no future. There is no plan. She's got no heroes. She's got no strategy. She's got no company. It's all built on a hill of sand.
The scale of this business. I don't know if that's an audacious goal. Is it
sure.
audacious?
Yeah, I think so.
I'll take that. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'll take that.
And then what comes after that?
There you go. See, Emma's not having it. A polite hum. Because you can't kid a kidder and Emma's not having it. Emma actually interrogates her and takes it a little further.
Do you know what you want to be doing in the next 10 years?
Not exactly.
Again, nothing. Absolutely nothing. There is no answer.
But probably in the wheelhouse of what it could be. I want to continue to work with really strong, creative people. I want to tap into the audience and the demographic that's with me in that present moment.
Okay, I mean, she's getting to hyperbole now. That present moment, well, is that right? I mean, are there people living in 2017 or 1819? It's 2025. We're all living in the present moment, Meghan. Please make this end.
And so this is one chapter. Life has many chapters.
Last but not least.
And you have to think, and the next 10 years, we're both going to be in our 50s.
Is that right? My goodness, not only is she a great entrepreneur and a sensational broadcaster, she's also the queen of mathematics. Well done, Meghan. Extraordinary stuff. Now, before we go, don't forget my neighbour's cat Reg is on the way. Love your comments, which are just extraordinary and fascinating and always influence what I'm thinking, educate me, entertain me. Sometimes you agree with me, sometimes you don't. No one gets cancelled, not on my watch. And so let's have a look. Yesterday in the previous video, I said, who's worse, Harry or Meghan? Really, who do you blame for all of this? Mary said, oh, Mark, definitely Meghan. You are wrong. This Meghan is the worst because she was given the power when she married Harry. Harry, being so in love or too stupid, gave her everything. Being a narcissist, Meghan lavished in it. Tyrell says, I think at the very beginning of the saga, when H publicly declared himself just Harry, it was clear that he obviously at that point was accepting his new unroyal status and the agreement made with the late Queen. Then what happened was Grimer Wormtongue, I think they're referring to Meghan, got him completely under her power, started whispering in his ear and poisoning his already warped mind into the resentful, greedy creature he has become in order to gain financial gain and at the same time destroy the monarchy. Interesting stuff. Great point from Katsu. I feel bad for the kids. They will have to suffer the consequences of having stupid parents. I hope they turn out different than these two memes that they have as parents. Magnolia Hoosier says, excuse me, it's a pie hole. I was talking about Harry and Meghan, right? They suffer from cakeism, the desire to have your cake and eat it. And I said that William has told Harry to shove it in his cake hole. But Magnolia Hoosier said, actually, it's pie hole. Shove it in your pie hole. Also, I was talking about trying grits when the Mark Dolan show comes to America at the end of this month. And Magnolia Hoosier, who I believe is a lady, hello, says in California, you won't find good grits. That's a South Carolina, Alabama, Georgia, Mississippi, and maybe even Tennessee thing. But lots of you comments about the grits suggesting I do try them and try them with lots of butter. Also, I mentioned Wyoming because I think Harry would like to just live on a farm in Wyoming. Wyoming! And JM says Wyoming is a beautiful state. It doesn't get nearly the credit it deserves, which I think is a lovely, lovely comment to be making. And then last but not least, I think this is a fantastic tweet, and it's from Betty Lou, and it's about the controversy from the previous video. I mentioned that I really like the song Divorce by Dolly Parton. Now, I spoke in error because I said that I believe that she wrote and sang that song, Divorce. Divorce becomes public today. Okay, so she did not write it. So thank you. Many of you in the comments corrected me. She did not write that song. Many of you have pointed out that it was a hit for Tammy Wynette. It was actually a massive smash hit for Tammy Wynette. Divorce is a Tammy Wynette song. Okay? It's not written by Tammy Wynette, but she made it a huge global hit. So Tammy Wynette and Divorce. So all of that is true. Can I just briefly defend myself and tell you something extraordinary, which is that I'm such a big fan of Dolly Parton. That wasn't ironic. Not an ironic cough. Sorry, I've got some flour sprinkles in my throat. Flour sprinkles. I'm a big fan of Dolly Parton. So my experience of the song Divorce is from Dolly Parton, basically. Dolly Parton is, for me, the Divorce singer. So in other words, she sang a version of it on an album that she did. Lovely Dolly. I might have the name somewhere of the album. I'll flash it up if there's time. But basically, so Dolly recorded the song after it was a big hit for Tammy Wynette. So she did a cover version, and I happened to be referencing lovely Dolly's version, which I think is, I mean, Tammy Wynette is a total legend, of course, Stand By Your Man, lots of other hits, Divorce. But I particularly like the Dolly version, but you are right that it was a hit for Tammy Wynette. Always let me know when you want to correct me about anything, what you love, what you don't like, let me know in the comments. And I cannot wait to see you for another video tomorrow. Looking forward to the next video. The material is piling up. But before we go, if you're new to the show, there's a neighbour's cat that comes to my home, and he lives in about 9 or 10 different residences. He eats in every location, and he's an interesting chap. And I decided on this occasion, why don't I ask him a few questions about the royal family? Let's get his opinions on Harry and Meghan and King Charles and all the rest of it. So I sat down for what I was hoping would be a lengthy and informative interview with my neighbour's cat, Reg. Unfortunately, it was somewhat curtailed. It was a little shorter than expected. It didn't go according to plan. See you tomorrow. Bye for now. Now, we don't do a lot of interviews on the Mark Dolan Show because there are so many issues that you and I have to get through. There isn't really time. But I thought I'd sit down with a royal expert called Reg, who is my neighbour's cat. It's one of the shorter interviews of my career. I didn't get any great answers, did I? I hope we're not paying him a fee.